nice, bro. For real. That's Eunice's brand, right?
Assalamu alaikum and kia ora. I'd like to welcome you all and thank you for standing in solidarity with us. Today we are unifying our voices and standing in solidarity against the inhumane atrocities we are witnessing across Darfur and Sudan. Shame! And today we are taking a stand to say, UAE, we will no longer allow you to kill our people. We will no longer allow you to kill our people for your gold, for your capitalist, imperialist interests. We will no longer allow you to fund genocide in Sudan through the RSF militia. We will not allow you to continue with your colonial project, your expansionist project in Sudan. We are here to say that Darfur is for the Darfurian people. Sudan is for the Sudanese. And the lives of black and brown people are not worth a dime. Before we get into our program today, our sister Ragda from Sudan with Nubian heritage will start us off with a karakia.
He enoe tata. He uru mai, aho ora, aho kaha, aho maya, kirunga, kiraro, kiroto, kiwa, kiwato, redari ho, pai marie.
Our brother Yunus from Darfur will now also open us up with a recitation from the Quran in a dua for our brothers and sisters in Sudan.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm just going to recite in Arabic, but just to save some time. So if you do want the English translation, there is a dawah stall over there, and they're giving out free English Qurans you can get anytime. So feel free to go and grab one later on. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب عليم بما كانوا يكذبون وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون وإذا قيل لهم آمنوا كما آمن الناس قالوا أنؤمن كما آمن السفهاء ألا إنهم هم السفهاء ولكن لا يعلمون. يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا سميع يا حليم يا أول الأولين وآخر الآخرين يا رب السماوات ورب الأرض ورب العرش العظيم. Oh Allah, we pray that you protect our brothers in Sudan. We pray that you stop this genocide and you stop the UAE, these proclaimed Muslims destroying the name of Islam and destroying humanity. Oh Allah, we pray that you, the all-powerful, the provider, the one who has created us, look after your people and feed them and protect our children and our brothers and our sisters and guide us all back to the state that we were in and bring us the freedom we deserve. Ameen.
strong, I'm gonna start off with some chants. I want you to follow after me. Sudan le Sudanin.
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 This translates to Sudan is for the Sudanese people. My father always used to reiterate these words to me. My late father that was exiled and tortured for fighting for what we're standing for today. He always said every time the Darfur genocide will be on the news, he would cry as he echoes the words, Sudan le Sudanin. Sudan le Sudanin. And what we are witnessing in Sudan is part of the global struggle against imperialism. What we see in Sudan is the remnants of long-standing legacies of colonialism. What we are seeing in Sudan is our people becoming commodities for this global war economy. What we are seeing in Sudan is bloodshed at the expense of imperialist interests. And we are standing here today to say that we will not allow this no more. So I want you to follow after me. Sudan le Sudanin. Down with imperialism.
Down with imperialism.
Down with colonialism.
Down with colonialism.
Here now today.
Here now today.
Sudan is not for sale.
Sudan is not for sale.
Darfur is not for sale.
Darfur is not for sale.
Darfur would not die for your gold.
Darfur will not die for your gold.
Sudan will no longer die for your gold.
Sudan will no longer die for your gold.
Down with imperialism.
Down with imperialism.
Down with colonialism.
Down with colonialism.
Sudan le Sudanin.
Sudan le Sudanin.
Sudan le Sudanin.
Sudan le Sudanin.
A lot of Western Sudanese Darfuri families are deeply impacted with the violence in Darfur. A lot of them that have come from refugee backgrounds, that are survivors of genocide. And we are standing here today for the children of Darfur and for those families in Aotearoa that continue to watch their family members be massacred. We are here to join our voices with them to say we will no longer live in a world that gets to choose how they get to live, controls their bodies. So, firstly, I would like to, I would like to invite Hassabu Hassan. He's from Darfur, a refugee that has fled violence the violence in Darfur through sea and found asylum in Papua New Guinea to be accepted as a refugee in New Zealand. What it's like to be from Darfur and the horrific violence he's witnessed.
First of all, thank you for coming out. Thank you, New Zealand, for your support. We have been known you for standing up with solidarity against injustice all over the world. So I really appreciate for coming out today to show solidarity and standing with Sudanese people. What's happening in Sudan is not a civil war. What's going on in Sudan, it is an ethnic cleansing. What's going on in Sudan is a genocide. It is a genocide. it is a genocide. This militia has been backed by UAE. It's not a secret. The UAE has been bringing militia from all over the world, even from Colombia, to kill our people. We must speak up. We must act now. We should put pressure on our government to cut ties with UAE. We should push our government to impose sanctions on UAE. My people, the indigenous people of Darfur have suffered this for so long, and this has to end. Well, thank you again for coming out. Thank you again for showing your support and standing for humanity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hasabu. Up next we have Ezzedine and Yunus, which are also from, they're both from Darfur, and they came as refugees, survivors of the Darfur genocide, and they are from the Masalin tribe, the tribe that has been affected and mainly affected within the Darfur genocide. Sorry. So I'd like to welcome up the to the stage. To talk a bit about their experience growing up as refugees in New Zealand and some of the horrific violence that they witnessed in Darfur and what your solidarity means to them today.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. I just want to say thank you all for being here today. It shows that actually we are not out here alone. For the longest, us Darfurian people felt like nobody really cared about us, or people saw us as like human beings, or we were treated like animals for most of our lives. I left Darfur when I was only 5 years old, 2004. Genocide started in 2003, 2004 my family moved to Chad, and most of my life I lived in Chad and also in Chad. But our people back at home, they were still dying and still getting killed to this day. And 3 days ago, while I was talking to my mom, she said something like, I want to go back home and fight. And then what she said is that you don't have to hold a gun to be a soldier. You can speak, and your voice can be louder than the gun as well. And it shows that you guys are all here today to hear us speak. And yeah, standing with us as the Darfurian people and also the Masali people. Kami ni Masarawi, yawo 20 سنة ولا 30 سنة من زارع ناجي لكن أرنجاوي بلد معارم ولا إنكو إننا. That was me just speaking in Masalit. All I said was that our Masalit people are very welcoming people. The reason why this whole situation is going on, in my view, is that our hospitality, we welcome people and even the people we don't know. And for us, if somebody comes to our house, we don't need to know you to host you into our house. We can even leave you into the house for as long as you want. We will feed you whatever it is that you need. And over time, the people that we welcome in are the same people that are now killing us and taking what's ours. And I think enough is enough, and it's time that we take our land back. So say after me. UAE, you can hide. UAE, you can hide. We charge you with genocide. We charge you with genocide. UAE, you can hide. UAE, you can hide. We charge you with genocide. We charge you with genocide. UAE, you can hide. UAE, you can hide. We charge you with genocide. We charge you with genocide.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Yunus. I am Zadin's younger brother. And I was born in Darfur. And around 2005 or 4, we had to run because of the civil war that was happening in Darfur. And I was 2 years old, so I don't remember much. All I remember is that we left with one donkey and few items to cross borders to Chad, where they accepted us into a refugee camp called Gaga. And we spent our life in Gaga. We stayed there for about 9 years. And there we did our studies. We tried to adapt to the culture. But even there, if you're not in your own country, you're not always going to get accepted. So even there, a lot of the people did not accept us, and you would see a lot of small killings, you know, and law is not big in a lot of the African countries. So alhamdulillah, we survived that as well. And our father died when I was about 7, so everything was left to my mom. Staying in a, what do you call it, foreign country. You can call it a foreign country because it's not our home. And staying in a different country, only with few of your family members, not knowing where to start, not knowing where to get food, not knowing who to ask for help, because everybody there is needing help. And they have to look after their own families first before they can look after you. And so my mom took on everything. She fought for us. We ourselves had to, at a young age, had to learn how to be mature and work and provide for ourselves or provide for the family as well. So basically working together, if you guys go to the Sunday or Saturday markets around here, you would know that everybody comes together and sets up stalls and they sell vegetables. And we did that back home. We would go out, and the country folks there, they would be bearing stuff to sell, and we would get it, and then we would bring it to our mother, and my mother would buy it, and then she would put it on her stool, and we would sell it, and that's how we kind of survived most of the way. And my sister, she had a really bad disease. She had her, what do you call it? Her lower jaw was swollen, and it was full of, you could call it mucus, or it was rotting basically. And my mother had to go to many of the cities in Chad trying to find medication or trying to find operations for her. And a lot of the times we couldn't find anything. But luckily we were able to meet someone from UNICEF. Yeah, someone from UNICEF who had a talk with my sister and offered her an opportunity to sign up to be taken out of Chad and be brought to a different country. And a lot of the people there suggest that we did not leave, like we stay in Chad and just try to grow up there. And some of them had crazy conspiracies. One of them is, I'll just give you one. They said New Zealand is a country with a big zip on the top. And once you get there, the zip will open, the airplane will come in, and there will be people with big elephant ears, and they will eat you. I mean, we were young, so we believed it, obviously. But even though they said that, my mother said, I'd rather go to a country where I don't know nothing about than stay here and suffer. So if we go there and we die, then we die. But I'm not gonna stay here. So she decided to make the choice of coming here. We got here around 2012, no English, and trying to adapt. And what's crazy is New Zealand is a country that, you know, it has different types of weathers. In Africa, we do not have, what do you call it, fog or like, you know, cold air. And when we came to the camp, the first morning we woke up and we were breathing basically fog out. And first thought that came to our mind was they have implanted bombs in our stomachs. And we were gonna die any moment. But you know, all of that becomes funnier once we grew up here and we started understanding and started adapting to it, and got the chance to actually study and understand what's going in Sudan and what they're doing to our people, because they didn't, like a lot of the places in Sudan, they would not allow us to even study or get our own knowledge. So we are really grateful that we got accepted to come to New Zealand, and we got the knowledge to understand what's happening in our land. And now it's our turn to step up and try and help our land and fix our land, because we got the knowledge too. And we are grateful that all of you are standing with us, because we're all humans. There is no distinction from black or white, Asian or Arab, and an islander or a Maori. We are all one. We are all human. If one person gets hurt or bleeds, we should all be hurt. And if one person is dead, it should feel like the whole world has died. And if we save one person, it should feel like as if we have saved the whole world. And so we are really grateful to you all. I advise you all to keep standing for Sudan, and not just Sudan, but all the other countries that are going through this as well. And post on social media, talk about it to your friends and families. Let the world know. It's finally happened that we get to see what's happening in Sudan on social media as well, because a lot of this has been happening for years, but nobody has ever posted on social media. But now, Alhamdulillah, we can see it on social media, so we can do more about it, and people would believe us when we say that there is actually genocide in Sudan. So, justice for Sudan! Justice for Sudan! Justice for Sudan! Justice for Sudan! Thank you very much.
Thank you to Eunice and Izzadeen. Just as you heard, they are survivors of the Darfur genocide, which actually started in 2003. Yesterday I was speaking at the Palestinian protest, and I told my brothers and sisters there that since 2003, Darfurians have been trying to convince the world that they are human. And it's quite evident because we're in 2025 and we see the international communities in action. We've seen the silence of the global world, and we've seen how Darfur has continued to be neglected, exploited, and the people of Darfur have become disposable in this global war economy. And it's really important when we stand in unison and we stand in solidarity against the genocide in Darfur. We are standing for the children of Darfur that have been raised into generations of war and genocide. That's all they know. On Friday, we had an interview with Kadambari from Radio New Zealand with Zadine and Eunice's mother, and she said that her dream for Darfur was all the Darfurian children that are displaced and packed into refugee camps all over the world, on the outskirts of Darfur, get to return to Darfur and eat from their land, because Darfur is fertile. Famine is man-made. We are inherently rich. That's what you've got to understand today. But the narratives that they push through the media, through their propaganda, that we are in a civil war, fighting each other, which is not true, dismissing their investments, dismissing their foreign-backed militias, dismissing this whole system that actually runs on the blood of the global south, of black and brown people. A design system that actually dictates who gets to live and die, who gets to live wealthy and who gets to live poorly, and who gets to benefit from our resources. And as you can clearly see, it is not the people of Sudan. It is not the people of Darfur. And as I was telling my brothers and sisters yesterday at the Palestinian protest, as they align and as they coordinate for the imperialist interests, we will coordinate and we will align for the fall of imperialism. So we're going to go in with another chant before the next speaker. Follow me. As-Sudan le Sudanin.
Sudan le Sudanin.
As-Sudan le Sudanin.
As-Sudan le Sudanin.
Down with imperialism.
Down with imperialism.
Down with colonialism.
Down with colonialism.
Here now today.
Here now today.
Sudan is not for sale.
Sudan is not for sale.
Darfur is not for sale.
Darfur is not for sale.
We will no longer die for your gold.
We will no longer die for your gold.
Up next we have our Sudanese Wahine from Muslim Heritage, Ragda, a staunch advocate. If you have seen the letters, the call to action letters to our MPs were actually put together by Ragda. And yeah, she will be providing a historical context and a bit of understanding of the war in Sudan. Thank you.
Tēnā koutou katoa, Paragda Hassan tōku ingawa, no Sudan o Kutipuna, I tai mai o ke whānau ki Aotearoa, I teito kotahi manu iwaro, iwi te koma onu, I te puaki o ki tāmaki makauro, e noho ana o ki mangere, he union organizer ho, no reira, tēnā koutou katoa. First and foremost, I want to thank Fatma Sanusi for organizing this event today. With so much of Sudan's violence right now being concentrated in Darfur, with Darfuri voices often being marginalized, it is crucial that we take our lead from our Darfuri people, that we listen to their voices, center their grief, and amplify their calls for justice. Shouldering unimaginable pain, and the least we can do, the very least, is stand beside them, and that's why I'm here today. And it's great to see so many other people here today doing the same thing. A couple of people today have been asking me about the flag draped around me and what it represents. This flag was our original flag, created by a Sudanese woman for the Sudanese people, a flag that represents us and our whenua. Blue for the Nile, yellow for our desert, and green for our beautiful land. Anyone's wondering how I got this flag, all you have to do is buy Gabon's flag and flip it upside down and you get this, so shout out to Gabon. This flag was officially adopted on January 1st, 1956, the day Sudan supposedly gained independence. I say supposedly because the truth is, we are still not free. Next year will mark 70 years of independence. Yet for most of those years, our people have been massacred. For 39 years, South Sudan bled, over 2.5 million lives lost. And if we're being honest, the rest of Sudan did not fight with you, our South Sudanese whānau, and for that I say I am so sorry we let you down. Yet, even after that betrayal, you still show up for us, and that's a testament to the strength, love and integrity of South Sudanese people. Let's make some noise for our South Sudanese whānau. You'll hear in the news a lot that this war broke out in 2023, but not for our Darfuri people. The genocide in Darfur started when I was just 12 years old. Now at 33, over 2 decades later, it still hasn't stopped. Before 2023, around 300,000 Darfuris had already been massacred. Since 2023, the Sudanese death toll has surpassed 150,000, and those on the ground say the numbers are much, much higher. That is 3 million Sudanese lives lost in the last 70 years. We have lived through massacres, 85% of our so-called independence. Shame! And why? For asking for the most basic human rights, for the right to exist as indigenous people on our own land, for a democratically elected civilian government that does not marginalize Sudanese from the south and west, instead of an elite tyrant with his military that maintains Arab imperialism and kills anyone who challenges it. For separation of the state and religion. Meanwhile, our gold and resources are still being pillaged. How can anyone say we're independent? I can't even find the word strong enough to describe the inhumanity, the barbarism, the racism, and the videos coming out of Sudan. It feels like we're living in a never-ending nightmare. Every time we think we've seen the worst, the RSF find a new level of horror to unleash on our people. They record themselves laughing as they torture and execute civilians, calling them racial slurs, forcing people to dig their own graves, lynching women and children. Shame! There are videos of babies and children on the ground shot, their limbs torn apart, their throats slit. They have been raping babies, children and women, and the UN reported some are even being kidnapped to be kept as sex slaves. They have been throwing people into fires alive, drone striking funerals, when Sudanese people are just trying to bury the victims in dignity. Even after death, they try to strip our people of our dignity. The bodies are so many and the pools of blood are so large that they can be seen from space satellites. And they're proud of it. The RSF post these crimes themselves on their TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, like influencers chasing views, bragging about the genocide. They have openly claimed responsibility for killing 7,000 people in EL-FASHER alone, and they even called it a genocide themselves. I have never in my lifetime seen a genocide being broadcasted the way this is, and yet still the world refuses to act, yet the world still refuses to call it what it is, a genocide. Let's be clear. This is not a civil war, this is a genocide, and this genocide is funded and profited from. And at the center of it all is the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. The UAE does not mine any gold at all, yet it sells up to 1/4 of the world's gold drenched in Sudanese blood.
Make it make sense!
The math isn't mathing. And that's because hundreds of billions of dollars of our stolen resources line their pockets while our people are starved and eradicated. You cannot stand for Sudan without calling out the UAE, just as you cannot stand for Palestine without calling out Israel. So today, we say to the United Arab Emirates, you're committing Darfur's genocide and you have blood on your hands. And to the New Zealand government, what I would say to you, Christopher Luxon, Winston Peters, and every single MP who stays silent, your silence is deafening, your silence is complicity. Not only is this government silent, but this government shakes hands with the UAE. $1 billion trade deal with the UAE has just come into force 2 months ago, while other people are being murdered. By maintaining this agreement, Aotearoa signals that profit matters more than principle, that it will look the other way while this genocide unfolds. To the New Zealand government, you too have our blood on your hands. Shame on this government. Shame on every leader who chooses profit over human life. You should be cutting ties with the UAE. They should be sanctioning the UAE. That's what we need for this war to stop. May we never ever stop fighting for a free Sudan, a Sudan where every person from Darfur to the Nuba Mountains can live in peace. Ngā mihi nui.
Thank you, Ragda, for your powerful speech. Just as our sister Ragda said, it is integral for us to call it a genocide. And whoever is not ready to call it a genocide, tell them the horrors of Darfur. And whoever tells you that they can't see the intent, tell them to follow the money, tell them to follow the gold. This is a genocide on the Sudanese people. This is genocide on the Darfurian people. And we must call it for what it is, to have effective conflict resolution. And everyone that has stood with us, that is Sudanese, that has used their voice to call out the UAE, are doing it from a place where there's not a lot of support, to be truthfully honest. And today I'm going to say how it is, because my people do not deserve to die for gold. And we will no longer cover for the oppressors. I mean, you can say you are afraid and you want to exchange a life of luxury, a life of privilege for the blood of my people. So I am calling out every Sudanese to go as fine and call out the UAE. Because people from Darfur that have fled violence, that have been victims of genocide, do not have the same privilege to protect people in the UAE. Do not have the same privilege to stay quiet. There's no time. There is no time. And a lot of our community members are afraid to call out the UAE. That's why we must all speak out for them. And to be truthfully honest, as a Sudanese and as a Darfurian from EL-FASHER, I am not afraid to call out the UAE. I am more afraid of my brothers and sisters dying in Darfur with the lack of global inaction. That's what I'm afraid of. I am afraid of living in a world that continues to tell me that we have to stay silent. We have to act vigilant. That's an authoritarian regime. We can't speak. What if we go missing when we go to Dubai? But what did the children in Darfur deserve? To hear those words, to now politicize their death, their suffering. And anyone that profits at the hand of human suffering needs to be held accountable. And if you... So we will call out the UAE wholeheartedly. Until my voice shakes, until my voice trembles, UAE, you will no longer kill my people for your growth. You will no longer kill my people for my growth. I am not afraid of you. And they are afraid of the power of the people, believe me. Because if they weren't, they won't make up all these lies. They won't be pushing all this propaganda. It's because they are threatened by the power we hold when we come together in unison. One of the main tactics in what we're seeing today was to divide the people, to create indifference. And we've seen it in Sudan since pre-colonial times, and then we've seen the remnants of the British colonialism through Southern rule, which was a policy that was pushed to divide the people in the north and the south and create indifference. And so what we are witnessing in Sudan today is another attempt on dividing our people at the hands of imperialist interests, and we must continue to remember that. And that's why we are stronger together. We are stronger in our numbers. Up next, I have my brother Abubakar Sanusi. He'll be sharing something.
How's it going, people? My name is Abubakar Sanusi. I've spent the last 2 years witnessing horror, and usually this ain't my forte. I don't do big crowds. I don't really care about politics, but when you see my own family dying, when I see my cousins get kidnapped and get freed when they have to pay some money, or when I see the very town that my dad used to talk about get destroyed and destroyed into bits, like literally unrecognizable, I'm forced to speak up. That's my land. That's my people. I represent them. Kia ora koutou. Greetings to you all. Salam alaikum. Greetings to my fellow New Zealanders, Sudanese people. We're gathered here in Aotea, Auckland, Aotea Square, united in solidarity for Sudan. Our homeland, our people, our future. I'm truly thankful for you guys gathering here today in support of the Sudanese people. The simplest gesture of humanity, by just voicing with us here today. For too long, our people have felt unheard, ignored, and abandoned by the world. Today I stand here before you with the fire of truth in my heart. The burden of my nation is suffering on my shoulders. Our homeland, the ancient land of Darfur, Nubia, and the Nile, bleeds from within, but also from the hands of foreign powers who believe Sudan can be bought, divided, and controlled. Let us speak clearly. United Arab Emirates and the RSF have waged a war against the soul of Sudan. The RSF is a militia, not a paramilitary force. Stop letting the media tell you that. It was a militia born of corruption, betrayal, and it was never a national force. It was a weapon built to crush the will of the people, to silence our martyrs, and to destroy the unity that makes Sudan indestructible. Behind this militia, in the shadow, stands the UAE, financing destruction under the disguise of diplomacy and stability. But stability for whom? For the mercenaries who loot our cities? For the warlords who burn our homes? Or for the foreign investors who see our soil not as a nation, but as an oil field, as a gold mine, as a place to exploit, as an extraction point? Let me tell them this, UAE, you will hear this, you will see this. Sudan is not for sale. Our sovereignty is not your business deal. Our people are not pawns for your foreign gain. From the mountains of the Marra to the streets of Khartoum, EL-FASHER to Port Sudan, Sudanese people are awakening. We will not bow down to any foreign force. And we will not bow down to anyone that funds our suffering. We will not surrender our dignity to the gold traders of Abu Dhabi or the mercenaries of RSF. We know their strategy. Divide Darfur, occupy the land, install puppets, erase the history. But we are the descendants of sultans, scholars, martyrs. We are the nation of Ali Dinar, of the Mahdi, who chose to refuse colonial change. And today we refuse them again. To the UAE and all those who back the RSF, you can't defeat a people who's defending their land. You can't. And you cannot stop a nation rising in unity. Sudan will never be broken. We will rebuild it with this hand. With these hands here, we'll rebuild them. Not with your money. Not with your weapons. But I swear with the blood and sweat and courage we hold in our faith. To the fellow Sudanese, inside, abroad, everywhere, stand firm. Stand proud. This is a battle against you. Stand firm. Stand proud. This is not only a battle of bullets. It's a battle for identity, truth, and also for the generations that are unborn yet. They're going to be born soon. Sudan has to be free. Let the world know our message. Sudan belongs to the Sudanese. And no foreign power, no militia, no puppet, no regime will ever change that. It's not a civil war. Remember, we're going to have to tell you guys over and over again, it's not a civil war. It's a proxy seizure of a state, funded by the UAE and supported by foreign powers. I'm going to quote the Colombian president, Gustavo Petro. What is happening in Sudan is a genocide. Our soldiers being sent to fight as mercenaries in Sudan and Ukraine by mafia bosses who live in Dubai, Rome, and Miami. We do not want to be complicit in genocide in Sudan. We will pursue these mafia networks. Guys, if the truth can be skewed, silence begins. But we refuse to be silent. The world may turn away, but our hearts roll. The finances of genocide will be exposed and our nation will be liberated. Mercenaries. You see that word a lot, right? Mercenaries. Mercenaries. Everyone's like, mercenaries, what's going on? Well, that's the starting point of this crime. I call on the nations of the European Union to take immediate action to prevent the Ukrainian, Serbian, and Romanian mercenaries found entering Sudan supporting the RSF. We call on Chad to stop using its land as a safe passage for the RSF to enter Sudan and to end all support that enables the flow of mercenaries into our country. Europe and the international community must ensure that the weapons, vehicles, and military supplies do not reach the RSF. You guys have embargoed Sudan. Look at this, guys. They've embargoed Sudan, but the militia gets more weapons than the army. Make it make sense. They've set us up for failure. We cannot defend ourselves, especially if a militia has got weapons that can destroy a whole state within days. Within days, guys. You saw what happened to Khartoum. You guys witnessed it. The orchestrated genocide of Darfur was away from the eyes of Khartoum, was away from the eyes of the North, was away from you guys. But the actual people that they funded the genocide in Darfur, decided to film it. And that's why you guys see it today. Our voices, when we told you guys what was happening to us, was not enough. The guys that they funded, killing my people, had to film it. And now you guys know. It's there for you. I call on the United Arab Emirates, stop your support for this militia. Stop this militia of terror immediately. Return to the table with Sudan. Respect our sovereignty and recognize that continued backing of the RSF will gain nothing but a stain on your reputation and condemnation from the world. What sort of business is this, guys? Your success can't hide the crime. I call on my fellow Kiwis and all citizens of Aotearoa, write to your government and ministers. I know some of you guys are in front of us right now. Let them know enough is enough. Sudanese lives are at stake, and international silence and complicity is unacceptable, guys. It's unacceptable. Is that what we're worth, New Zealand? The trade deal, $1 billion, is that what we're worth? We've got more gold than that under my grandma's house, guys. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. That's very silly and very childish. Luxon, I thought you were a businessman. $1 billion is not enough, guys. Come on. $1 billion, and we throw our reputation away? $1 billion, guys? Huh? Shame on them, guys. Shame. Apparently Sudanese lives worth $1 billion, guys. $1 billion. Do you not know Sudan's rich? Do you not know we've got the most arable land in the world? We can feed 10 times the world. We got enough. Where's the Nile River? The longest river in the world. Is your math not mathing? The longest river in the world, that means the most fresh water. UAE, we don't need water from you, you need water from us. Before I leave, I'm calling for a moment of silence for the lives recently lost in Darfur, for the martyrs of the 6th Infantry Brigade and the Joint Force who stood firm for over 600 days, fighting with honor until the end, who fell by treachery and evil by the RSF and their foreign backers in the UAE. Most of them did not make it home, but their courage will forever echo through the soil they died fighting for. I ask God to comfort their souls in the dwellings of heaven, to grant them eternal peace and easy judgment, for they sacrificed their lives in blood and glory for Sudan. But also, remember the child, innocent, unaware of politics of hate, who faced pain and terror they never deserved. Let us remember the mothers who lost their children, the women who may never see their husbands again, and the elderly who watch their sons die before their eyes. To them we say, we stand with you. We will never forget. Your pain is our cause, and your sacrifice is our strength. God bless the Sudanese Armed Forces, the Popular Resistance, Mushtaraka, the Joint Force, SLM, and all the allied forces, all the Sudanese who sacrifice their lives every day for the safety of the state. I thank you guys.
Thank you, Abu Bakr. السودان للسودانيين السودان للسودانيين Down with imperialism. Down with colonialism. Here now today. Sudan is not for sale. Darfur is not for sale. Sudan le Sudani. Sudan le Sudani. Thank you. Up next we have our freedom fighter from Palestine, Rana, and she will be talking a bit about the collective struggle against colonialism and imperialism. Because my brothers and sisters, what we're seeing in Palestine and what we're seeing in Sudan and also in Congo are not isolated. They're not only parallel in struggles, but parallel in oppressors.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Right, awesome. Kia ora everyone. Rana, my name that I was given in this life, but we all know it really doesn't matter what name you hold. We continue to feel and we continue to struggle together. And you know, I thought about myself with like, what kind of words can you actually talk about after seeing videos of people being hit with stones and buried alive in a place where it's so distant yet it feels so close to our heart and in every cell in our body. And I didn't know what exactly words can I say, so I wrote a few things and I'm just going to be reading that because what else do we have other than each other? While every day a veil reveals a layer of this fascist system that values resources, profit, business and economic growth for their own bank account over human life, dignified human life for all. Our humanity in these times is reminding us with the basics. Human is so precious. Each one of you is so precious. We bleed the same color, speak unique languages. We each has a gift that we are here to contribute with, so we can together build a reality that is flourishing, with all of us being part of that process and for all of us. We have enough resources. The earth is abundant. Our love for each other is overflowing. Our power is overwhelmingly flowing, which is why the wealthy 1% keeps trying to divide us. So just remember that their plans of division is because of our power. We are all remembering right now, and remembering is not easy, it's painful, because we remember in all of our bodies and cellular, every day, with every struggle, with every person being killed in front of our eyes, we are remembering, and it is painful. Someone wise once told me this is growing pain. We are remembering who is around us in these times, who is standing with us, and who is rising within us. Our ancestors are breathing memory of all the struggles they have within the borders, all the struggles that they have right now and they had before, within the borders of which we know and beyond them. My offspring scream the frequency of hope and love and life. And here I am right now passing their words through my lips. Today I feel anger. In all honesty, I feel so angry that I could scream in someone's face and punch them in the face. But I'm channeling my anger into showing up in here. So I remind you that right now we are remembering again what and who we are and our inherent interconnectedness. Showing up for Palestine is showing up for Sudan. And showing up for Sudan is showing up for Congo and Palestine. It is not disconnected. And we do not get to pick and choose who deserves for us to show up for. As soon as our eyes are open, we can see. So don't close them. There is no point. And that goes to everyone that is listening to what we're saying around us, behind us, just walking around the street. There is no need to close our eyes. The veils are opening. So it's our choice whether we hold each other's hands and we walk through this fire. You know, the fire is an amazing element. It's an element of transformation. If we cook something over the fire, it turns into something really beautiful and very, very yummy, like food. But also, if we put our doubts into the fire and we walk through it together, we are able to create and grow a life, a complete different reality than what we are experiencing right now. It does not have to be this way. So what's in our hand is us showing up with each other, boycotting those support networks that are feeding genocidal systems and criminals. And also showing up, part of that is acknowledging that we are ignorant. I think it's very important right now. It's a very important point where when I wake up and someone asks me, why are you not going to this protest in Sudan? Maybe inside myself, I just feel like maybe I just don't know. I don't know enough, which is an excuse that a lot of people that don't show up for Palestine give me too. I just don't know enough. You know enough. And maybe showing up will allow you to know more. If we don't stand up and go and acknowledge I am ignorant and I am sorry, I want to know. I want to show up. I want to stand next to you. I am so sorry for all my Sudanese brothers and sisters for not showing up and for not speaking enough. Whatever I do is not enough for what's happening right now. So it is a promise that we will continue to show up with each other. Can we promise each other that? Can we turn to the person next to us and be like, I promise I will show up. I promise I will show up. I am sorry for my ignorance. I am sorry for my internal colonization. I will do my best. Thank you.
Thank you, Rana. It's important to reiterate that, just as Rana said, that our struggles are all connected. You can't stand for Sudan without standing for Palestine, without standing for Congo. These are all connective struggles against neocolonialism, against imperialism, against exploitation of black and brown bodies. And that's why we must unify and coordinate our voices to put an end to these systems. you must understand that the RSF militia is a foreign-backed militia that runs as a business venture. It runs as a hire militia. The RSF militia came out of the Janjaweed. The Janjaweed were responsible for the genocide in Darfur that started in 2003. And Sudanese civil societies and Darfurians have been trying to warn the world that the genocide never ended. And so the reason for the genocide was to crush any type of Darfuri resistance or rebellion to the Central Sudanese government that would allow their voices to be positioned in a place of power. This was all designed and tactical. And also, we must call out, as much as we call out the UAE, we must call out the complicity of the West. In 2016, the European Union actually funded this militia to curb migration. This policy was called the Khartoum process, to stop the overflow of refugees coming into Europe, the refugees that they create, by the way. And the money that was received from the European Union, which was transferred through intermediaries, actually gave the power, the legitimacy, and the license to act with impunity to the RSF militia. Shame and Hamiti, the general of the RSF militia at that time, had a famous speech actually thanking the European Union. And this was a cornerstone for their transition into a multinational mercenary group. In 2013, we also saw the first looting of the Jabal Amr mines in Darfur. So you can see how that money and power now influenced them to become business people. And so they saw an opportunity to loot Darfur's resources. A region that already has been that's been neglected. Nobody's watching, nobody cares. They've been dying. Over 300,000 people in Darfur have died. We could continue to extract these resources with the help of the silence of the international community, with the help of the indifference that humans feel all over the world to Darfuris, to black people, to be correct. A system that we live in that's designed on anti-blackness. And so, what we are witnessing in 2025 is a genocide on the Sudanese people with the support of superpowers, regional powers, multinational corporations that are all responsible for this genocide. Up next we have David from Amnesty, which will talk a bit about the evidence they've collected around the UAE or UAE's involvement. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou. Thank you so much for inviting us to speak here today. I'm David from Amnesty International, and we are here today with my colleagues from Amnesty, standing in solidarity with you all, especially with the people from Sudan. Tens of thousands of people have been killed, 12 million people have been displaced. This is the biggest humanitarian crisis in the world, but the international community has failed the people of Sudan. The world has turned its back to Sudan. So we are very concerned of the situation in Kordofan, where escalating has been happening, more conflict. Many are worried that will happen the same situation as Darfur, where Amnesty International have documented war crimes perpetrated by RSF, including mass killings, torture, rape. Women and children are some of the groups that are more vulnerable to this conflict. For the reason that we are calling on the RSF to stop targeting civilians, stop targeting civilian infrastructure, provide safe passage to people wanting to flee the areas that they are controlling, providing passage for humanitarian aid to access the areas where they are controlling. We're also calling all states, including the UAE, to stop providing military assistance, including providing arms, weapons. We have documented that the flow of weapons during these years has just fueled this conflict. Weapons from Russia, from China, from the UAE, from Turkey are just fueling this conflict. If there is an actual arms embargo, the RSF wouldn't be able to really continue killing people. So we are calling for an actual arms embargo in Sudan that will be respected. And we are not really surprised that people of Sudan are not trusting on the proposed ceasefire because it has been violated in the past. So an actual ceasefire where the parts will be respecting the ceasefire is needed. We're also calling international bodies like the UN Security Council, but also regional bodies, including the Arab League, the African Union, to pressure the RSF to stop killing people, to stop massacring the people of Sudan. But also all states, including the European Union, UAE and others, to pressure RSF to respect the humanitarian law and human rights law. Kia kaha, stay strong, people of Sudan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So today we have Ricardo and Chloe from the Green parties. They're the only party that have made a statement on FASHER Darfur. And they'll be sharing some words on the situation and how they'll help our communities forward.
Kia ora te whānau. Look, this shouldn't be that hard. Genocide is wrong, ethnic cleansing is wrong, massacring innocent people is wrong, pushing sovereign people out of their land is wrong. And it is incumbent on anybody who seeks to hold any position of power to call that out. So let's call this what it is. It is a genocide, and our government has a responsibility to act. But knowing full well that we are politicians, I just want to be crystal clear about the accountability that we have to all of you who are standing here and run you through the things that we so far have done and make a commitment of the mahi that we will do moving forward. Firstly, the Greens are on the public record adamantly opposing the free trade agreement with the UAE and calling out the atrocities and the exploitation of the Sudanese people. And I would ask you to call every other single political party to account to do the same damn thing. Secondly, we are again on the public record holding not only this government, but the former Labour-led government to account for removing immigration barriers for Sudanese people and to reunify whānau here in Aotearoa. And I just want to point out that while I'm really grateful for those who have turned up today, seriously, I'm mihi to all of you and I'm mihi to the organisers, The commitment that I want to make moving forward as the Member of Parliament for Auckland Central and as the co-leader of the Green Party of Aotearoa New Zealand is that we have so much more organising to do. Clearly, we have to build the understanding and the awareness and then the mobilisation and organisation necessary to have our government act, not only to change this government, but to get a government of change. And that's really all I have to say. Free Darfur, free Sudan, free Gaza, free Palestine, free West Papua, free Congo, free all colonized people everywhere. Because they are not free until we are free. Kia kaha e te whānau. Boycott UAE! Boycott UAE! Boycott UAE! Boycott UAE! Boycott UAE! UAE, you will see. We charge you with genocide. UAE, you will see. We charge you with genocide. Sudan, le Sudanese. Sudan, le Sudanese. Sudan is not for sale. Darfur is not for sale. Darfur is not for sale. We will no longer die for your gold. Die for your gold. Thank you.
But just as Chloe has said that we have a lot more organizing to do. And this is just the beginning. So we're calling on each and every one of you to join your voices with us, to stand in solidarity with us, whether you're Sudanese or not. We will keep protesting, and we will keep organizing, and we will keep shouting until our demands are heard. And we are calling upon our government to uphold their responsibility, to uphold international law, to uphold international human rights law, and end the genocide in Darfur. We are calling for our government to join multilateral cooperations towards solutions for Darfur and Sudan. We're calling on our government to end trade deals with the UAE, to sanction the UAE, to label the RSF militia as a terrorist organization. They do not represent the Sudanese people. You cannot have peace talks with a terrorist organization. And New Zealand is not far removed from what's happening in Sudan, not just through our trade deals, but in 2016 and 2017, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trades approved 6 exports of weapon systems to the UAE. And during that time, the UAE was known for their conflict in Yemen. And how is this connected to Sudan? The RSF militia were hired, to hire a militia to fight in Yemen. Shame! And in 2004, the New Zealand government implemented sanctions against Sudan for the Darfur genocide. So you only implement sanctions when you think we're killing our own people? We need you to implement sanctions on these regional powers that are killing my people. Not make trade deals. So they sanction our leaders that are bad, but they make trade deals with the same people that are killing us. And that's why we must unify in our voices and say we will not allow this no more. We will not allow a system to dictate and control the fate of our brothers and sisters in Darfur, or Congo, or the rest of Sudan, Africa, Global South, or colonized people. And Darfur will be a land where the children will grow up in. Darfur will be a land where the children eat from. Darfur is for the Darfurians. Sudan is for the Sudanese. We will not allow this expansion of this project. We will not allow this invasion on Sudan. We will not allow this attack and genocide on our culture, on our heritage. And honestly, I do not want to grow up in a world, neither do I want to bring children into a world where they cannot return to their homes. Sudan le Sudanin. Sudan le Sudanin.
Sudan le Sudanin.
Down with imperialism.
Down with imperialism.
Down with colonialism.
Down with colonialism.
Here now today.
Here now today.
Sudan is not for sale.
Sudan is not for sale.
Darfur is not for sale.
Darfur is not for sale.
Sudan le Sudanin.
Sudan le Sudanin.
And I'll leave with this last message. I just want to reiterate, just like I said before, just as they coordinate and align for their imperialist interests, we will show them people power, and we will coordinate and align for the fall of imperialism. Free Sudan.